And as you know, the brand new roller coaster here at SeaWorld has been named the Mako, which is appropriate because
we're going to put a microphone on you so they can hear you a little bit better.
It's the fastest of the ocean sharks, and it's a pretty fast roller coaster. So the branding using the name is really.
I'll get down.
Not working there. You need to turn it off. Is it just these people here? I'm fine with that. Yeah. So the Mako shark is a relative of the white shark, which is your guy's favorite shark. I mean, the press just loves white sharks. But there are other sharks in the world. There's 500 other species that have been totally neglected by the press. So I'm really glad you guys are here today. I personally have been spending the last 20 years researching sharks in one form or other. For science and for my artistic renderings. The last 5 years we've been focused on the Mako shark, and we're about the only organization based at Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale that is doing any comprehensive work on Mako sharks, which is why SeaWorld came to me for help with their branding of the new roller coaster. Now by branding I mean not only am I licensing the use of my artwork for the roller coaster ride and for the merchandise that ensues from it, but also, and more importantly, from an educational aspect. We want people to learn more about sharks. The Mako shark is a smaller cousin of the white shark. They're one of 4 members of that family that include the poor beagle, the salmon shark, the white shark, and the Mako. They are the fastest, most developed of all the sharks. They're kind of the real E-type jag of the ocean in terms of their evolution, and the Mako is definitely at the very pinnacle of that, so he deserves our attention. The one problem with Mako sharks is that they're really good to eat. They're the only shark that people really like to eat, and they're also regarded as a game fish by the International Game Fish Association because of their speed and their prodigious leaps. They can jump out of the water like a sailfish or a marlin. So they're highly sought after both commercially and from a recreational perspective. And so that puts a lot of pressure on the species. We reckon over 500,000 Makos a year are killed in the Atlantic Ocean alone. That's 500,000 sharks from one species. And we know that somewhere between 30 and 60 million sharks are killed every year worldwide. That's a very high rate of attrition on the shark species generally. So there's a bit of urgency involved in A, studying, but B, getting the results of all the research work out to the public and to people like yourselves. So you're in a better position to tell your readers a little bit more about the facts about these animals. With that brief introduction, I will take any questions about science or art, or SeaWorld, or B, or anything.
How does this mural bring you ranking into your top 50?
It's definitely going to be my top 50 of the artworks that I've produced over the years. I'm not known for my murals. My very good friend Wyland and I have done a lot of murals in Florida, but he's really good at it. I'm not that great at it. He's an airbrush master, I'm a paintbrush master. He paints mostly marine mammals and I like to paint fish, and that's why we work together in harmony. But it's a nice piece. I've done really big pieces in the past. This is very appropriate for this setting, and it's going to become an iconic piece for all the people who come by here in the next 5 or 10 years. There's going to be millions of people who pass this mural, and they're going to leave SeaWorld with a much better impression and idea about what this animal does, how important it is, and its aesthetic beauty. I am not going to ride the roller coaster. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm afraid of heights, and I hate speed. It's pretty hard for me to get into an aeroplane, as you know. But lots of people will have lots of fun, especially the young people. So looking forward to a lot of excitement, thrills, and no spills. Good question. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. Great question. I grew up in Jamaica. I'm a 10th generation Jamaican, and both parents loved to fish, to sport fish. In those days, in the 50s and 60s, we killed everything. It's amazing to see the turnaround now, how catch and release sport fishing has taken on since that. So growing up there, I was really severely impacted by the sea. I read Ernest Hemingway's story of the old man in the sea many times, and that had a great impression on me. I began to draw that whole story in pen and ink. At that time I was just using it's kind of an illustrative form of art. And then I studied marine sciences at university and did my PhD at the University of the West Indies in Kingston, Jamaica, where I lived at the time. And after a couple of years there, I was having informal art shows, doing fishing tournaments and stuff like that, and got an introduction in Fort Lauderdale to a t-shirt company back in 1986. So that's 30 years ago to this year, almost to the month. And because of that, my hobby became my profession. My profession in painting art and going around the place and doing what I've done for the last 50 years. But it's come full circle because my background as a marine scientist has really helped in the formation of the Guy Harvey Research Institute at Nova, and of course the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. So we do a lot of research work now on the large pelagic animals like sharks, billfishes, and tunas. That's our focus. So we've gone into other work as well, like stingrays and groupers and lionfish, contemporary issues that would face the Caribbean. But that's our focus. So that's it in a nutshell. And here I am today, in my 6th year, having fun. Yes. Well, the problem with lionfish is that they're a Western Pacific species. They came to Florida through the aquarium trade, and they escape. They grow big. People throw them back in the canals, or they escape, or whatever. However, they get into the marine ecosystem because they're very voracious. They grow fast. They eat anything in your tank, and it's one of the big problems we're talking about. Having wild animals in people's homes. They grow big, and people let them go. And once you cross that threshold, you reach a sort of a point of no return in the open ocean. They have just exploded in population because of their very fast breeding rate. They can produce 30,000 eggs every 4 days. And they have no natural predators at any stage of their life cycle here. And their prey, the smaller reef fish, don't recognize that they're a threat or a potential danger, so they don't try and evade them. So on both ends, the reproductive side and the eating side, they are causing enormous damage to all the coral reefs, from North Carolina south to the Bahamas, down to Brazil, and through the Gulf of Mexico. And they spread like wildfire. So the research is on what are they consuming, what is the damage that they've done, but more importantly now is how can we catch them in a passive, effective way that it doesn't involve human beings? Because diving is the only way right now of catching them, shooting them, and it's very labor intensive. That puts the price of the product up. So you go and buy lionfish because they're great to eat. You buy them anyway, it's expensive. The real cause, a way to address this problem is to educate the people that they are very good to eat, and to eat them preferentially over other beleaguered species like snappers and groupers. Sorry, long-winded answer, but you got it all. Anybody over here have a question?
You talk about the mural. Talk
Yes.
about from concept to
Yeah.
now doing it, and is it going to be available for purchase anyway?
It is. It's already available for purchase in the gift store, a smaller version. We'll have different sizes, different size ranges for people. It's also on a shirt. This is another of the pieces that I did. And so we've got 4 or 5 different options for the first go around. Of course, as our contract extends, we're going to upgrade the art and change out art. So there's always something new for the customer to purchase and to learn more about the species. But having signed the contract in November with SeaWorld, I got going right away on a bunch of new Mako shark art. And the timing was really great because we were spending a lot of time researching them, both in Mexico and in the Mid-Atlantic. And we just shot a whole new documentary about Mako sharks, which will be available here too. So we're going to reach people through TV, social media, and through art. Yes? Oh, cool. Very much so. In fact, most kids that I met are already very sensitized about the demise of sharks. Actually, young boys just love sharks anyway, so it's kind of cool. They got a head start over everybody else. So we want to work on that base, that inherent interest in kids. And we're definitely going to do that through the SeaWorld machine. It's much more effective than my machine. So combined, our combined efforts are going to be reaching a lot of kids. Everybody happy? You want to stand over there by the wall, get some pictures? That's my daughter Jessica there helping me. She's also a biologist. She works at the Department of Environment in Cayman where I live now. And she works on terrestrial stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Favorite animals are things blue marlin. I think it is amazing fish. It's a cat, dive with. They're a top ocean predator like mega sharks, but actually they have like blue marlin. They'll eat blue marlin. Blue marlin will eat mega. So mega really is a top dog out there. And I say top dog because they're not ambush predators like white sharks or some of the other sharks. They can outrun anything. They can outrun a blue marlin. So they really are from big size. I'm not very big. They grow to about 13 or 14 feet. But the blue marlin is a beast. And I grew up with that. That's 30 centimeters in your man in the sea. And if you've ever seen one on the end of the line or dived with them, it's kind of cool. That's another important point. The mako shark cannot be kept in captivity like many of the other big ocean-going sharks. It's only in the Georgia Aquarium that you have the whale sharks, but they're not really an ocean predator. They're related to the nurse shark family, and they're planktonivorous, and so they're very slow-moving, kind of lumbering animals, very cool, laid back, and they can be kept in captivity successfully. But all these big fish, the marlins, the sailfish, the tunas, the big ocean-going sharks, can't be kept in captivity. So this is the importance of art, the importance of TV documentaries that we make. We dive with the animal in its natural environment and bring the image back to the public. And that's the only way you can really interact with them safely. And they are few and far between, and so it's pretty hard to find them. And people don't realize the amount of time and effort that we put into accessing the animal. Thanks for that question. Alrighty, we're going to go to the walk. Any other last minute questions? But if you think of something, just say hey. All right. And if you're around this afternoon, by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you should be finished. I got to get up on the chair lift and do all those guys up there.